Got it.
Welcome to another episode of Drinking After Dark, a podcast where we discuss random topics while having a few drinks. I'm your host, Darius, and as always, drink responsibly. And y'all make sure y'all follow Drinking After Dark podcast on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and y'all make sure y'all like and subscribe to Drinking After Dark podcast YouTube channel. Tonight, I got two very special guests with me. They're returning again. We got my cousin Droski and my boy Darrion Brown, a.k.a. Nick. What's going on?
Yeah.
What's going on, y'all?
Good.
How y'all doing?
So we doing good.
That's
Yes,
what's
sir.
up. That's what's up. What y'all drinking on tonight?
I got me,
Man, so like just some light, rose, some light.
Okay.
I got me a little aged Bacardi I'm sipping on. Need to go ahead
Okay.
and get my glass ready.
Okay. Well, tonight I'm doing something different. Tonight's episode.
All right.
I did a review on this and I like it, so I'm gonna show y'all what I'm drinking on. I'm drinking on this Crown Royal lemonade. This whiskey lemonade. So yeah, it's actually pretty good. I did a review on it, so y'all could go check that out on my Facebook page and things like that. But this is actually really good, and I'm gonna sit here and lie to you. This stuff will sneak up on you.
Sound like you done got snuck up on.
It did. I drank one of these and I was like, yo, it got me pretty good.
I didn't even know they had anything like that. Wow.
Yeah, man, you go to the liquor store, man. You know they start making those what is it, like the Crown and Cokes, they put them in the cans now.
Mm-hmm.
So they had this, right? And I was like, I'm gonna try this because I'm kind of curious. And I never had hard lemonade before. So this is my first time. And of course, I'm a Crown guy. So I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and just try this. And I tried it. I was like, yo, this is really good. And I definitely recommend this. If you're gonna be chilling, especially like on a spring day outside, I think this would definitely go with it. It's really good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it looks like it tastes good too.
Yeah, but that one can snuck up on me. I wasn't ready for that.
They had you back on the couch, just chilling.
No, the crazy thing before we get started is that this actually made me sleepy. Like I slept hard when I drank this.
Oh, what? I need one of them.
I know, right?
Yeah, it come in a 4-pack, and I think it's like $14.99 or something like that. $14.99, $15.99. But it's well worth it, man. And the fact that they got limited time offer on this, I'm like, y'all should just keep this permanent, man. It should just stay permanent because I really, really like this. And I saved my wife a can, so I'm gonna have to go back and go get another one.
That's why I said you better make me go get one. Go give me a little 4-pack.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Before we go any further, man, this episode is sponsored by Joe Shakinab at shakinab.com. Go visit shakinab.com for services, monthly updates, and contact information. Once again, visit shakinab.com, promoting leadership and scholarship. And tonight, I'm going to dedicate this episode to my great-grandmother, Claire Fletcher. May you rest in peace, Granny. So let's go and get into it. D, man, album out. Talk about it, man.
Man, it's like getting good feedback. Everything's positive about it. So like first and foremost, like it's an EP. It's like just a little appetizer. What I've been working on, and like so far so good. So like I'm sad. I'm proud of the feedback that's been getting. Been working on it for like a whole entire year. So like it was a fun experience. I had fun recording it, putting it together, and this is like my first take doing everything on my own. So like I'm just I feeling good about it, man. Feeling satisfied.
That's what's up. And where can they find the album?
It's on every streaming sites like Apple Music, Spotify, like Tidal, like even if you have like YouTube Music, it's on there. Like it's available on every streaming sites.
Definitely. And what's the name of the album?
Nikki. If you type in Neaky, well, like it should automatically pop up. So
gotcha. So y'all go check it out, man. what was the inspiration behind this latest project?
The inspiration behind it, well, it's all like to be honest with you, um, my inspiration behind it, and so just that's a good question. And so behind the project, right? I just want to put something out just to show people like, hey, so like I'm still here, I'm still making music. And also it's like if you listen to the first couple of tracks, right, this is like my first time that I'm going solo on everything. I used to be in a group, but I left because of like certain reasons and stuff. Something personal happened, so I was like, you know what, and so like instead of being down about everything, let me just just put together a little EP and stuff, like um just to have something to listen to. There's like a song on there, right, called Back to the Basics. That's a good feel back, laid back type vibe. But the majority of the tape is stuff like I'm just, basically just dwelling on that situation of me being in that group and me leaving and the reasons why. But like there's like two songs me talking about that, but the majority of it, like songs like Back to the Basics is just a cool laid back song. Then there's songs called Water Guns where I'm talking about the community, what's like what's going on and stuff, like how things used to be back then and how things are now and stuff, and how stuff like how like things have been crazy since COVID. And then the last song, Lifetime, like that's dedicated to my special someone, to my wife. And like that song has been again a lot of play, a lot of burn recently. So, I'm just all up my inspiration behind it, honestly, to answer your question, just to show people that I'm still here, that I still, I'm still working and stuff. And this is just an appetizer. The album should be coming out later on this year. I'm not we're slowing down. I'm still just gonna keep this keep everything rolling. So
Yeah. Keep that momentum up. You got to keep that pressure going.
yes,
But it
sir.
sounds good.
Definitely.
I'm typing it in now.
Yeah, definitely. You got to keep a train going, man. You already got that thing going, man. Just keep it going, man, and don't stop. Don't stop. And speaking of don't stopping, this now I'm starting to feel good off of this. So
It's
I,
starting
t-
to,
I
it's creeping up.
no, here's the crazy
Exactly.
no, here's the crazy thing. Like I told y'all before, man, this thing, I just popped it open, right? I took about 4 or 5, sips of this. This thing, it's I don't know what it is. Because I
Does it have
usually
the
drink
alcohol rating on
7%.
it? They lying.
And it also contains 5% lemon juice.
Okay, okay.
So I don't know, man. Like this
That
thing,
could be it. It could be the lemonade because lemon juice goes straight to your kidneys and liver.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, it does. I like lemonade. I like lemonade anyway.
Hmm.
I like lemonade, but this, like I said, this is my first time having it. And usually I drink Crown Royal vanilla. I mix that with Dr. Pepper cream soda. And I don't feel nothing from it. But this
He said this
Hmm.
is a little different. It's a different level.
this is a little different. But
You
Well,
tried
it's
that
so
Dr. Pepper cream soda with the strawberry?
you know what? My wife told me about that.
It's
She told
good.
me about that. I'm
oh, what
actually
about?
going. It's a Dr. Pepper. Was it strawberry cream? Something like
Yeah,
that.
Oh
strawberry
yeah, yeah,
cream
yeah, yeah.
soda.
Oh, I've been trying to look for it for the longest. I can't find it anywhere.
I can't find it either. But once I find it, I'm actually gonna do a review on that Dr. Pepper
It's
on
pretty
my
good.
channel. So I'm gonna try it
Well,
out and see how it is. And because let me see, I heard people talk. What's it? Starry? Is this how you say it? That new lemon lime soda. It's supposed to replace Sierra Mist.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I didn't even
Yeah,
know Sierra Mist was going away.
yeah, they've been gone. They replaced it with it's a new name.
It's called Starry. Yeah,
Yeah,
But it's the
you
same
I've
see
seen
it.
thing.
it all over the place.
Yeah, you see it all over the place, and I guess it's supposed to like be better than Sierra Mist. I don't know,
Mhm.
I was never a Sierra Miss fan. Like
Me neither.
that wasn't. I'd
Yeah.
rather have 7 Up before I had Sierra Miss.
Facts.
Without a doubt.
But I'm gonna try it. I've seen it everywhere. At first, I didn't know what it was, and I was like, all right, it's on the shelves. It's everywhere. Every store you go to, that's where it's at. So I'm gonna try it. And see how it is. I drink Sprite. Like I said, then I'll go to 7 Up if I have to. But I'm gonna try it out, and if I like it, I keep drinking it. If not, then
Cut it off.
definitely cut it off. So let's before we talk about the Super Bowl, did anybody see the Grammys?
I saw parts of it. Like I've seen clips of it. The only thing that I've seen from the Grammys was the Hip Hop 50 show when like all the like the old generation and new generation, they were all performing together, which is lovely, But that's the only thing that I've seen from that. Nothing else.
Yeah, I didn't really see too much other than some of the awards that they said some of the people that won, but outside of that, I didn't even get a chance to catch it.
Exactly.
Man, I sat there, I watched the whole damn thing. Why?
Man.
But I thought, no, here's the crazy thing. I thought Jennifer Lopez was going to be singing, right? Because she was supposed to do a tribute she was supposed to do a tribute to Whitney Houston, right? That's why I tuned in.
Oh, man.
And it didn't happen.
Okay, cool.
That's why I really tuned in for it, because they said that she was going to do it, and then it didn't happen. But again, the 50th anniversary tribute was real cool. Was it the last performance of the night? Guy did, DJ Khaled, of course. You had, Jay-Z pretty much just.
Oh
yeah,
it's Jay.
Verse of the year.
It's Jay.
Verse of the year for me.
Yeah, so the way they closed out the show, they did it right. But of course, there's, you got people with some controversy and everything like that. Of course, I don't know if y'all saw the clips, Sam Smith and who was the performance, stuff.
Yeah, I've heard about it, but I didn't see it.
I heard a little bit. I was like, "Ooh, that's a little too much for me."
Yeah,
and you know how it used to be. Used to like, ever like put it out there that you're, I'm not gonna. Can I say like they're devil worshipers or something like that?
Yeah. It's all like,
But now they all out in the front with it, because I seen that performance. I was like, "Yo, this is." Whew.
But like what they say, right? So like if the devil doesn't like if the devil doesn't have any plans, so like they try to like the last thing that they can do is try to put it in front of your face. So like that right there.
They
so
try to plant more seeds.
Basically. So like so when I've heard about that, I was like, wow, like that's
I heard a little bit about that. I was like, you always gonna have something like that, but like you said, I can't believe they would allow it to happen.
Exactly.
That's the thing that got me. They allowed that, and they go through rehearsals and everything like that, so they know before they put it on that this is going to be it. I don't know who was producing the show or anything like that, but it is what it is. And also, congratulations to Beyonce, most Grammys in history. So definitely most Grammys in history. And to all the winners out there, congratulations to you. They also did I don't know if you heard the Quavo and Takeoff. They got to a little argument backstage, and
so like, they got a little what's that, an altercation? Yeah,
it was more like a little argument. I don't think it was more of an altercation, but it was basically
how boys gonna argue, probably something small.
Some people
they
speculate
said something
because
about Cardi B had something to do with it.
No, Cardi B, she shut them both up. She shut them both. And the way she did it, she didn't take no sides. She was like, because when you at a place like that, there's a time and a place for everything. And
Exactly.
she pretty much didn't take her husband's side. She didn't take Quavo's side. It was basically like, y'all two acting like some kids around here. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
need to stop it. And she shut it down, and you didn't hear nothing else from them.
That's what I
Nope.
said.
And
You
I,
at that Grammy. Stop acting like that.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Shoot. Exactly. I know I'm getting off topic, but we don't want to repeat from what happened last year at the Oscars and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's a different time and the place for that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
completely.
And like you said, it's good that Cardi B didn't take sides. At least she was the one that was actually grown about the situation. Check both of them. Like, y'all need to stop. Especially after all what just happened to take off and stuff like that. Like, come on, y'all acting too messy right now. I need to chill out.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Quavo and
Mm-hmm.
what's his Offset?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Offset. So it was really, I think it was really a tribute to when they was about to get ready to do the tribute to those who have lost, those who don't lost their lives and everything. And
Yeah.
of course, Quavo was doing his tribute to Takeoff.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what it might could have been that people are speculating that. So, but yeah, they got into a little argument backstage. It's on camera because you can actually hear the commotion,
Yeah,
and
that's
you
what I
can
said. I heard
hear,
there's a video about it, or where you can hear kind of what was going on, pretty much.
yeah, and you can hear Cardi B pretty much take just nipped it in the bud right then and there. So
Smacking both of them upside the back of their head, like, chill out, sit your butt down. You know how your mama used to do back in the day? You
Yeah,
act up at
yeah.
church, sit your ass down.
Uh-huh. Yep.
yeah, but it was a great tribute though. You know what I mean? From like
It was.
they
It
kind
was.
of they kind of like took different genres of music, and
Hmm.
they had different artists pretty much doing their tributes and everything like that. And so it was really cool. It was a really cool thing. Me personally, I kind of wish Quavo and Offset both
Was there
was,
exactly.
did the tribute to Takeoff.
Yeah,
But it didn't happen that way. Hopefully, uh, they could come back together. Settle what they got to settle. Doesn't have to be on camera or anything like that. They're family.
yeah. That's what I
So
said. Just grow up. Talk to each other because life is very short. You can hold a grudge all you want to, but like you said, y'all family, man. Y'all got to talk that out. Y'all
Exactly.
been through too much. Like you said, especially recently. So it's like, come on now. You got to start acting your age and the way you be talking. Y'all be trying to act like y'all so grown and so this in your music. So act that way then. Especially when you carrying yourself. You ain't at no club and nothing like that.
speaking of that, I
Sorry.
was like I said, we're gonna talk about the Super Bowl in a second,
All
but
right.
we I had this conversation with somebody, right? And
Mm-hmm.
pretty much the biggest award of the night is album of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like all the all the categories at the Grammys, it was the same people up for every category. It seems like, and you have a lot of people that was upset that Beyonce didn't win album of the year. Harry Styles won. He won
Mm-hmm.
album of the year. If you don't know Harry Styles, he was
Hey, Styles. I know who he is, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
yeah.
he is part of One Direction, the group
Yeah.
and everything. But my thing is, when people who are debating this stuff, I always will ask this question. One, with all those who are nominated for that award, right?
Yeah.
Did you go back and listen to all of those albums?
You know what? To tell you the truth, it's so like thinking about that. Because like I've heard Harry Styles' album and I heard Beyonce's album. You know what? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because the thing is, Kendrick
Mm-hmm.
Lamar was up for that same award. Lizzo was up for that same award.
Mm-hmm.
ABBA, who was a legendary group, they
Mm-hmm.
were up for that. You gotta think ABBA from like
Yeah,
they were this like one of the best groups ever. When you think about the songs they made, especially in the 70s, that era, and
Yep.
they came and now they have an album that was nominated for album of the year. So it was a tough competition. But my thing is,
it was.
if you're going, we get it. You're a fan of somebody. We get it. But also, too, if you're going to have that discussion about who should win the album of the year, and these are your nominees, you should go and listen to all their albums front to back, and then you can make, you know,
Own
you
decision.
can, yeah,
Even
you
have an
can,
opinion, you can't even have an opinion if you haven't listened to all the albums, because then
Facts.
basically you really don't even know what you're talking about. Now you just, like you said, you're just speaking as a fan because you like that one person. Like, well, that
Exactly.
album was the best. So how you know that album wasn't good? Because you never even listened to it.
Mhm. Exactly. For instance, right when Chris Brown went off on that what's that guy's name? Uh
I know
Robert
he's
uh, uh, uh,
Robert some.
yeah, Robert Glasper the third.
Hmm.
Yes, off on him. I actually heard dude's album, and it was actually good and stuff. Like to tell you the truth, um, so yeah, because like honestly, it's like when Chris Brown mentioned him on that story and that situation happened, like I went and I heard his album, and I was like, you know what, this is actually a good record, you know.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, he won for Black Radio 3.
yep.
Uh, so that's what he won, and the fact and the thing about it is, you used to know everybody that's in the industry, right? And the
Mhm.
fact that Chris Brown didn't hear about him, it's kind of like, okay, but that doesn't mean he didn't put out a great album. You
At
see what I'm
all.
saying?
Exactly,
You don't have to
exactly.
be heard about. Like, there's so many rappers that haven't been heard, but they could literally be some of the best rappers you've ever heard once you actually pay attention to them and listen to them. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because there's a lot of that goes around. It's just a lot of, to me, it's just a lot of fandom. People are just so caught up in being a fan of one person, and they kind of don't really pay attention to the overall big picture of what exactly is going on.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And the church folk need to leave Maverick City alone. I'm gonna say that right now. Leave them
Yeah.
alone. Y'all too judgmental for me. It's the reason why people really don't like y'all. Y'all too
Mhm.
judgmental, man. It's the Grammys. They were performing with Quavo doing that tribute. It's a tribute. You see what I'm saying? So
Exactly. Yeah.
let them perform.
That's the whole point. They trying to make a tribute to the person in any type of way, any type of genre. As long as
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
uplifting that person and speaking their name, keeping their legacy alive, and that's the whole point of it. You know, but like you said, people just get too caught up in their emotions and how they feel about certain things. They don't really, like I said, sometimes they just miss the whole big picture.
They
yeah.
exactly facts.
They
Yep.
literally looking at one side of the picture. They got a giant picture of them. They see their artist and their fan, and they're just staring at that one little corner and missing everything else.
Instead of missing every facts, distractions. You know.
Hmm.
Yep.
Definitely, definitely. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. Let's go and talk about the big game that's going on this Sunday. Chiefs,
Yep.
Eagles, Super
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Bowl.
sir.
Mm-hmm.
Before we give our predictions on who's going to win, um, we got the two best teams in football. Basically, they were the two best teams all year round. We got this matchup. Uh, let's just start with the Chiefs. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
how do y'all feel about the Chiefs going in to this Sunday's game? When y'all saw them play, when you saw them play against the Bengals in the AFC Championship game,
Mm-hmm.
you know, how do you feel from that performance? How you feel about them and their chances in the Super Bowl this Sunday? I'm gonna start. Dro, you got something to say? You go
I
ahead,
feel
start off with
like
you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the Chiefs, they didn't have as good of a game as the Eagles had, when they against the team that they played. But at the same time, you can't take nothing away from the Chiefs because they have recently won a Super Bowl. You know, you can't really doubt them or leave them out or count them out at all. Like, yeah, the Eagles have been looking better all year, which the Eagles have literally looked like the best team in the NFL the whole entire year. You got all the Cowboys fans, they can say whatever they want to, but they have never looked as good as the Eagles have this whole entire season. So I feel like when it comes to Kansas City, it's yeah, I think it's still a toss up. Like, literally, it's going to depend on. To me, it's going to fall on the team's defense. If the Kansas City defense can slow down Jalen Hurts and that powerful Eagles offense that they have, because if they can't slow him down, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. Because the Eagles have a pretty good defense and their linebackers are pretty quick. So they can cover sideline to sideline. So it's going to be a little bit harder for Mahomes to get those extra QB scrambles that he usually have compared to what Jalen Hurts can get. But at the same time, we already know what he can do. We've seen it. He's been there. And Hurts never been there. He hasn't been. This is his first time. So,
Mm,
like I said, we gonna see. I like to me, like I said, I'm definitely going for the Chiefs, but because I don't, I'm a Falcons fan, so naturally I don't really like the Eagles. But outside of that, yeah,
yeah.
nah.
What about you, Nikki?
So first things first, right? Um, the Chiefs, right? I feel like when it was going against the Bengals and stuff, like it really wasn't like uh, um I feel like that the Bengals, it really wasn't a competition with that game.
Mhm.
So I felt like that the Chiefs had, like had that one easy. And I just feel like going against like with this Super Bowl and stuff, with them going against the Eagles, I feel like that is gonna be a very competitive game. I feel like that so well, like first and foremost, I feel like that like these two quarterbacks, stuff like they going for the ring and everything. And honestly, um I don't care who wins it and stuff. Like I'm gonna be proud for Mahomes or Jalen Hurd, either or. And so, but the thing is I'm really like interested in this game because like I feel like that it's like if things go right and stuff, yeah, I feel like that this is gonna be like going to overtime status,
Yep,
but
definitely.
but yeah, so I like Mahomes and everything, and and like Dro said, I agree with what you said and stuff about Mahomes. It's like he won his first ring, and it's going to be challenging
Hmm.
Jalen Hurd and stuff because like he hasn't been in a Super Bowl before, like and
Yep.
like it's a lot of pressure on him. So my opinion, what I'm going for, even though stuff they swept my team, my beloved Giants. I'm gonna go for the Eagles. I'm gonna go for the Eagles with this one. Because like I do want to see Jalen Hurd get his first ring and everything. I want him to win the championship. But like if the Kansas City Chiefs win, then I'm not going to be.
Yeah. Either way it goes, like you said, I'm not gonna be tore up about it. Like I said, I'm going for the Chiefs, but I do feel like the Eagles have a better chance because they're definitely a more well-rounded team than the Chiefs are.
Well,
Exactly, and plus.
go ahead.
And plus it's stuff like like I'm going for both of them and stuff because like hey, and so Patrick Mahomes is black, Jalen Hurd is
Yeah.
black, so like it'll be good for
And then the
for both of them.
and then the
So
assistant coach on the Eagles is black. She's a black woman at that too. So that'll be another historical thing to happen.
X.
So
Yeah, definitely. And just a few things. Philadelphia is a 1.5 point favorite in the Super Bowl. It was updated 10 hours
mhm.
ago. So we know how it could change within the next,
Of
couple of
course.
days and things like that. But
Yeah, yeah.
when it comes to, I'm gonna start off with the Chiefs and I'm gonna go to the Eagles side. With the
Okay.
Chiefs, they of course the Chiefs have the upper hand because they are experienced. Um,
Yeah.
I would say this, okay. We know Patrick Mahomes wasn't 100% in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, of
No,
course not.
And
not at
and
all.
they lost their, I think they lost 3 receivers,
Yep.
3 of their wideouts. And they
Hmm.
didn't have a running game on top of that.
Yep.
So
Well, they kind of really
what,
haven't had a running game all year though, other
they
than
didn't have a running
Mahomes.
game all year. But we all know in the Super Bowl, whoever has that running game going is pretty much more likely going to win. I would say this for the Chiefs. To me, their biggest X factor and who I think could possibly be the Super Bowl MVP, Chris Jones. He is a force on the defensive side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
This dude could possibly be the best defensive player in the game right now. Okay. And the fact that if he can, hold his own, and of course we know about their DBs, they've struggled. We saw that against the Bengals. They kind of
Struggle a little
struggled.
bit. Hmm.
So I think if Chris Jones and that defensive line could hold up on their end, I think they'll have a chance. But of course, it's going to come down to the quarterback play in Mahomes. He's very, very special.
And
Talent wise, we could say he's more talented than Jalen Hurts, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's going to come down between three players. It's going to come down between Mahomes, Kelsey, Chris Jones, in my opinion. That's what's going to this is going to come down to. Now, when it comes to the Eagles, to me, I think the Eagles right now are probably more complete of a team than the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Okay. And we saw through the playoffs, especially, when they did in the NFC Championship game, it really wasn't. I didn't even watch the game because I kind of knew what the outcome was going to be. So I didn't even watch the game. But I would say this: the way that the Eagles have looked pretty much all season compared to the Chiefs, you got to give the favorite to the Eagles. But we always know when it comes to the Super Bowl, it's very, very unpredictable. So this particular game is going to come down. I think from a quarterback standpoint, I think Mahomes has that advantage. But I think when it comes to the offensive standpoint, I think the Eagles has a better offense because I think they have more weapons.
Not only that, run the ball too.
Exactly.
Because if I'm not mistaken, Sanders got I think he almost had 1,300 rushing yards this season.
Yep, definitely. And not only that, but the Eagles has a better defense.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, Chris Jones, he's going to have to play like the future Hall of Famer and pretty much, hold down the fort. Because, don't get me wrong, the Chiefs are very opportune. They can make things happen, right? If you keep throwing the ball, the Chiefs going to catch on to it. Even though the Bengals, in that AFC Championship game, they made some great catches, but they also, what's his name? Quarterback to the Bengals. Joe Burrow. I was gonna say Joe Cool. That's what I was gonna say. But he made some questionable throws as well. Yeah. So that's what Jalen Hurts is gonna have to stay away from, making those questionable throws, because you have to understand who's on the other side of the field, and that's Patrick Mahomes. You don't want to keep giving this dude opportunities and you fall behind. Exactly. He's gonna score.
Because he's got 40-something passing touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken, but they might, or total touchdowns that I say, and that's a lot for a quarterback.
Yeah, definitely. And I also think it's going to be a high-scoring game. This game probably I think this game is going to mirror the Patriots and the Eagles from a few years ago with Nick Foles versus Tom Brady. So I think we're going to get that type of game. We're going to get that, probably going to see some trick plays that we never seen before. Something that's very memorable. Who knows? They might pull out the Philly special. You never know.
You like you said, it is a Super Bowl. It's unpredictable. You never really gonna know what's gonna happen.
And I
think the only thing about the Chiefs, though, I think they are saying that McCole Hartman's still gonna be out. I think he's on injured reserve still. So they talk about Kadarius Toney is actually questionable. So we'll see what by tomorrow.
What about Juju?
I think Juju's playing. They didn't have him listed on any of the injury things. So if I'm not mistaken, I think he's still gonna be in there.
Okay, because they need a receiver, because you saw how they struggled. You saw how the Chiefs struggled when they went out, and basically everything was going through Kelsey.
Everything.
And even though he's, top 2 tight end in the league, it's during that time they're gonna make somebody else beat you.
Yep.
And somebody's gonna have to step up. So if Juju is playing, I'm kind of I'm not upset. He used to be a Steeler, but we all know he benefited from Antonio Brown. Let's just call it what it is. But this is his moment to step up. You know what I mean? You go from one great franchise to another great franchise. Okay, with 2 of the best coaches in the game, and this is your moment to shine. I mean, if Kelsey's gonna get all that attention, that means you should just dominate. Right? You should just dominate. And, how can I say it? If they could get some like pass plays out the backfield for the running back to, kind of offset that
Having to pass the ball so much, because they do pass the ball a whole lot. The
that
Chiefs do.
but see, that's what I'm saying. They didn't have that running game either. So they're gonna pass the ball so they could just do some screens, things like that to get the running back involved so they could like subsidize the whole running game to make it like, all right, we can still do this. We don't have to go vertical. We can get the ball to the running back in space, let them do their thing, keep the thing going, keep them honest, and now everything will open up. And hopefully Mahomes' ankle would be a whole lot better because we know he wasn't right.
No, he was. You could tell he was still limping. Even though he still wasn't even able to get the full turn on his passes off of that ankle when he was doing certain moves and stuff. So it definitely showed that he wasn't 100%.
Exactly. So like, he needs to put some ice out on there.
Something.
Well, y'all know. I don't know if you guys had like a sprained ankle or anything like that, but sprained ankle. Y'all know how painful that is.
No joke.
You can't do nothing on it. No,
you so can't.
If it's a real sprained ankle, you're not doing nothing on it. You're not making no cuts. You're not even gonna get your butt up and jog.
No, you can't.
Nope.
That thing.
Not at all, man.
That's like one of the worst pains I've ever had in my life when I sprained my left ankle. And that thing swole up instantly like a softball. And I was on crutches. Man. I was on crutches for a week. And then the following week, I was like trying to put pressure on. I was walking so gingerly, man. It was like, yo, this hurts. It hurts.
Those days back at high school when I used to sprain my ankle, man, so much playing basketball and football all the time, and then having to walk in the hallways. You just limping. You moving so slow. People wonder why you late for class. Do you see how I'm walking?
Yeah, definitely, man. So who you guys got? I know, Joe, you say you got the Chiefs, and Nikki, you say you got the Eagles.
Yes.
Well, since y'all doing that, I guess I'll break the tie. See, this is hard for me because usually every Super Bowl I'm going for one team specifically.
Yeah.
This is hard, man, because I'm a fan of both teams. The Eagles won me money in the Super Bowl when they played against the Patriots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A lot of people won some money on that game.
Sure did, man.
And I don't know, man. This is
because, like I said, I feel the Eagles are going to win, but I'm definitely going for the Chiefs.
You know what?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go for the Eagles to win, but like Nikki said, I'm not gonna be upset if the Chiefs win.
Facts.
It's hard. It's hard for me to pick one, but if I have to pick one, I'm going for the Eagles. I'm gonna pick the Eagles, but I'm not gonna be shocked if the Chiefs
pull it off. Yeah,
pull it off. So this is a tough one. This is tough. This is really tough because usually you have one who's just who's going to win, who's going to dominate. That's what you're going to get, right? Or even if you're not a fan of both teams, you're still going to choose a team to go for, like instantly. That's who you're going for. For me, this is hard, because y'all know I'm a Steelers fan, of course. Droski's Titans. Nikki, you're the Giants, and usually we don't go pick somebody from our own conference, right? Except you like you're the Patriots or the Ravens, because they were like our rivals for years.
Yeah,
but I'm with you, Nikki. I want Jalen Hurts to win his first ring.
Yes,
I want him to win it, but at the same time, I kind of want this dynasty to happen in Kansas City.
Facts. You know what? So you know what? I agree with you. Yeah,
because that's what made the Patriots so special with Tom Brady, because they were a dynasty.
Yep, exactly.
And even
turned almost all his teams into dynasty.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But I think this is something good for the NFL to have a team that they could basically market, not them punk ass Cowboys. Not
Yeah,
them.
no,
Hell no.
Y'all,
They
Hell
y'all
can sit
not.
their ass at home like they are
yeah,
now.
yeah.
For
Yeah.
all the Cowboys fans out there, I want y'all to look at me when I say this. All you Cowboys fans, when y'all not America's team,
At
okay?
No.
all, not even close.
Come on
No.
now. When the last time y'all won a Super Bowl, y'all still holding on to the 90s. Michael Irvin ain't coming back. Emmitt Smith ain't coming
Emmitt
back.
Smith.
Larry Allen's not coming back.
Nope.
Troy Aikman is not coming back.
Nope.
Deion Sanders ain't coming back.
Nope.
None of the coaches, two of the coaches they had ain't coming back. They're not
Nope.
coming back. It's a done deal. Okay. Y'all are not America's team. So shut up.
Won all those games just to get busted in the playoffs.
I know, right? I know.
I would say this. I thought they were going to win. I personally thought they would, after they beat the Buccaneers. I said, okay, they got something.
Yeah.
But again, you know what it comes down to: quarterback play
Mm-hmm.
and that defense.
Yep.
And that's kind of what happened.
We saw that quarterback play because he had a bad game. That he threw his helmet on the sideline and it got intercepted.
It's like when they lost to the 49ers, I was like, what?
Yeah.
No,
I wasn't. Same thing.
No, I wasn't surprised because the 49ers, I have beaten the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
They were a better team. They were a better team, and nobody talked about them all season long. The 49ers were a better team.
Yeah.
And they could have had a chance to go to the Super Bowl if their quarterback didn't get hurt. Let's just call it what it is.
That's true. Because they had a third stringer in there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was a third stringer outplaying the quarterbacks in the playoffs. So
yep.
You know, that's just me. They had it. So, but with that being said, the Eagles are in there. They deserve to be in there. The Chiefs, the two best teams.
Gonna be mad. They're gonna be mad when they see that.
I don't care. Come on, listen. Here's the thing. I'm not like Stephen A. Smith, right?
I know, right?
I'm not the type of guy that hate on the Cowboys. But my thing is that y'all need to understand that Jerry Jones is the problem. Let's call it what it is.
Yes,
he's the problem.
He's been the problem.
I mean, yes, he owns the team, but come on now. You can't do everything. And even with the defense that they had, the issue that they have is, I think, first off, Ezekiel Elliott has been dropping off since his rookie season.
Yeah, completely. Yep.
Without a doubt.
Okay.
Yep.
And what you need for Dak Prescott, you got to have a dynamic running back.
Somebody like an Emmett.
And you need that dynamic receiver. Somebody like Michael Irvin.
Yep.
You know, somebody that could, keep the offense, honest. And then everybody else get to eat. They don't have that. So
they never will under Jerry.
No. I mean, Jerry Jones is a marketing genius. Let's call it what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's going to talk about the Cowboys. It's embedded in, it's kind of like the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Lakers and the Celtics. Mm-hmm. It's embedded in American culture. But the difference is the Lakers, they've won recently. The Celtics have a chance to get back and take it all.
And have one of the best players in the league. And if not one of the best players right now.
And we all know the Yankees and the Red Sox, their rivalry is just one of the best in sports. And, they always got a chance to win the pennant.
Completely.
So
you don't even have to be a fan of baseball, but you know about that rivalry.
Yeah. Definitely. So can we stop, Cowboys fans? I'm begging you. I'm pleading with you. Please stop with the whole America's team stuff. Okay, it's cool to be a Cowboys fan. It's cool, but y'all some annoying ass fans. Y'all be making me mad. Like, come on now. Yeah. We know the outcome of y'all season. We know it before the season starts. That's the sad part about all of this. Y'all the
everybody
only ones
knows
that
it but them.
Oh yeah. Everybody knows it.
They be watching the season like this, or at least the playoffs.
Exactly.
It was good to hear them quiet though. After they lost it, to not see no more Cowboys fans making posts, talking all this this, and that. Man, that was like the quietest time I've seen in a long time.
Oh yeah, because like I had a friend on Facebook, he a Cowboys fan and everything, and me and him was we used to talk crap on each other's team, but when they lost, quiet.
And when they lose, they go quiet instantly. You don't see
Very.
them. You don't see them on social media. They go into hiding.
You don't
You
see no
know,
more America's team. You don't see no more none of that.
you
Nope,
don't see
none.
nothing like that.
Just nothing.
And then when they see somebody talking about them, the first thing they say, man, y'all hate on the Cowboys so much, y'all can't keep them out your mouth. What you mean? We saying it now because y'all talk all season long. Like,
They the ones that talk the most.
no, that's
They here's the thing about and this is not the Cowboys players. The Cowboys players don't talk. That's what I
nah,
respect about it.
they don't.
It's their fan base that do all the talking.
Exactly. Yes.
That's what it is. Their fan base and their biggest fan, Skip Bayless. Listen, man, stop talking about the Cowboys on your damn show.
He
Okay,
gets on my nerves.
you don't talk about the
that.
Cowboys. Stephen, and although look, Stephen A. Smith, we all know he don't like the Cowboys. We all know that.
Mm-hmm.
He's from New York, but he's a Steelers fan first and foremost. But he don't like the Cowboys, right? And y'all keep giving this man material. Like, come on, man. Every week they talk about the Cowboys. And if once they get that good winning streak going, all right, y'all like, oh, we Super Bowl bound now. We gonna take it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even make it.
The playoffs ain't even started yet. What you talk about, man?
I know, right?
And everybody knows anything can happen in the playoffs. Like I said, I've seen it, and it's no.
Nope.
Yeah, it's facts. I mean, come on now. You got Jalen Hurts. How long Jalen Hurts been in the league now?
I think this is his
Second season?
yeah,
Third
that's what I said,
season?
I think it's second or third or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
And this man already made it further than what the Cowboys made in the last 30 years? Come on, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
I laugh about that. I mean, you can't argue that at all.
Not at all.
So I'm just saying, man. Do I like to see the Cowboys in the Super Bowl? Yes. While I liked it at AT&T Stadium, absolutely. That would be a Super Bowl, right? But you got to get there first. Jerry Jones, get out the way. Let your son run the team. Let him run the team.
He acting like you're a little senile sometimes.
I mean, when you at that age, I mean.
That's why he need to sit down, like you said, and let his son run the team because he messing his team up right now.
Definitely, man. It's
completely, man. Completely.
I mean, here's the thing. I see when you're talking about the NFC, right? Of course, the Eagles going to be at the top, right? But I see the Giants coming. The 49ers ain't going nowhere, right? You got the Rams who are going to come back after that disappointing season. You think they ain't going to come back?
Exactly. I was saying the same thing.
Yeah.
You know who else might be solid though? Because they actually found an actual quarterback. Like if you watch the Bears look pretty solid after they started playing Justin Fields more and actually letting him play how he's supposed to play. Like I said, yeah, they were still one of the worst teams in the league, but they literally just got a brand new quarterback that they didn't really let play that they should have been letting play. And they might actually do a little bit of something next year too. So it's going to be an interesting season next season.
Like just doing some rebuilding.
Yep. And they got a lot of draft picks coming in, so they might be able to find a dynamic receiver, out of there, depending on what they try to go for.
Yeah. And not only that, but let's also talk about the Panthers because they had their season turned around.
Yeah.
Which I want to go into this next. I want to talk about this. The Rooney Rule, right? The Rooney Rule. We all know what the rule is supposed to be for, to basically interview minority candidates, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what happened with the Panthers that they had Steve Wilkes, right? He came in on as an interim because they fired the head coach, right? So he came in, he was the interim head coach, basically turned that team around. and they didn't give him the job. They gave it to who they give it to? Let me think. But basically, the players wanted Steve Wilkes as their coach.
Yeah, they gave it to Frank Wright.
Frank Wright, yeah, yeah. Frank Wright is the head coach. Do you guys think like this Rooney Rule actually works on the on the coaching level and in the front office level, or is just like?
I think it's just something to compensate to, get it quieted a little bit, a little bit of something to quiet it down and to stop talking about, exactly what's going on for personnel behind doors and stuff like that.
Yep.
Because like 2 third-round picks, it would have been something they gave them something like more major, like at least a second-round pick or something like that. But still, like it's I mean, well, it's a third-round pick for 2 years. But I feel like, I mean, if they were gonna do that, they should have did something like a second-round pick, because by the time the third round come around, most of the most valuable players that actually do something are usually gone and taken. So that's still kind of a high risk. I just feel like it was just something to get them to be quiet a little bit.
Hey, did y'all realize the Carolina Panthers was founded in 1993?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, they used to be one of my favorite teams when they first came out. I always liked their logo.
I thought they came like,
well, like
I knew
earlier.
I thought it was like 89, 90. I didn't realize it was 93.
Yeah, they came back in the 90s.
But yeah, back to the Rooney Rule. I think what the problem is, I think people have issues with is that a lot of, black coaches or minority coaches have better resumes, but they don't get that shot. And when they get that shot, they go to these teams that are not going to win. So that actually hurts their record for them to get another head coaching job, right? Now, let's take the Titans, right? The Titans just hired a GM, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's black. I think he's going to do some great things for the Titans.
Yep.
All right. Everybody can't be who's some of the coaches out there, like a Tony Dungy, right? Or
Tomlin. What is it?
Mike
Tomlinson? Yeah, Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin, right? Who never had a losing record.
That's why I say he's usually always good where he goes to. So
yeah, and he only coached. His only head coaching job has been with the Steelers, and you know about the Steelers franchise, they don't get rid of head coaches.
No,
they keep their head coaches. They stay until practically they retire. They had 3 head coaches in like the last 60 years.
Mm-hmm.
All of them won a Super Bowl, and of course Mike Tomlin never had a losing season with the players he got. Think about that. But the players he got, he always gonna get the best out of his players.
Always.
That's what a coach's supposed to do. Like you said, I'm like you. I feel like a lot of the coaches, because they're not black, they just get that head coaching job over the black coaches just because of certain things like that, But
yeah, and not only that, but I just think that like Steve Wilkes, to me, he should. I feel like if the players wanted him, I think, front office should have said, you know what, we're gonna give you this deal. We're gonna see how, because we saw the turnaround, we saw the job that you were doing, and these players respond to you, and it can also break up your franchise too, because a lot of these players like, yo, we want this guy as a head coach, which is kind of different from NBA, because the NBA basically, if they say we don't want this coach, they get fired.
Yeah, they're gone. They're out of there.
Yep, they're gone.
But in baseball, not baseball, in football, they don't care what the players say. They're gonna bring in their head coach. You know what I mean? And that's
because they're just so ran by the general managers and the actual owners. Like you said, a lot of the times they have so much power when it comes to choices of whatever type of staff that they're going to put on the team. Like you said, example we were just talking about is a Jerry Jones, because he's literally killing his team right now, and I feel like it's kind of the same thing when it comes to that rule and how they pick coaches. Because, man, it's Tom, like you said, Tomlin's been with the Steelers that long, never had to lose a season. Like you said, Super Bowl winner. You mentioned Tony Dungy and all that. It's it's hard to find coaches like that, but it's hard to find coaches like that when they're never getting chances.
Yeah, and they listen like Eric Bieniemy, right? He's the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs. Basically, he's been talked as the next, candidate for a head coaching job. But I think he's at a point where he's just not going to take any head coaching job.
No.
Like if you go to the Texans, we know what that situation is, right? Now let's just say if it was a place like let's just say Denver didn't hire Sean Payton, which I think is a great hire for them, right? He could have went there, and I think the Broncos obviously would be a better team.
Yeah.
But the situation they got. Even with the Panthers, right? He could have went. They could have like, hey, we want him as our next head coach in Carolina. Not a problem, but it's just I feel like a lot of these general managers or front office personnel who do the hiring and things like that, I don't know what they're afraid of. I don't know if they're afraid of these coaches, coming in and become bigger than them or anything like that, taking over and things like that. I don't know what it is, but I think the Rooney Rule, it does what it's supposed to do in terms of having you interview them, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to hire them. And the problem is that even with their records and what they have accomplished, guys who have losing records as head coaches will always get another head coaching job.
Yeah.
But guys who have dominated as coordinators, right? Like I'll give you a perfect example, right? Y'all remember a couple of seasons ago when the Browns hired Freddie Kitchens? He was the special teams coordinator?
Yep.
The previous year, and they gave him the head coaching job. And you saw how that turned with the talent that they had. And you saw how that team turned out. Right,
Fair.
all these qualified candidates. That's who you pick because Baker Mayfield like him.
Yeah,
come on. We know how he is.
So I don't know the Rooney Rule.
I feel like it's just gonna turn into a process. It's almost gonna be like paperwork. Well, as long as we did it, they can't say nothing. So it's like I said, I don't think it's really gonna affect or change anything.
Facts.
Yeah. Because it's really just known for just interviewing minority candidates.
Yep.
So, and speaking of head coaches, before we go on to our next sport that we need to talk about, next topic, how do you guys feel about Ed Reed and his rant?
Oh, well, what did he say? Like, I missed it.
Yeah, I definitely missed that. I remember
going
seeing
on?
something about it, but I didn't get a chance to actually look at it and see what happened.
Yeah, so Bethune-Cookman, he was going to be the head coach for Bethune-Cookman, right?
Yeah.
And once he stepped on campus, he noticed how the facilities wasn't
Up to
it was
par.
terrible. It was
like you said, nowhere near the par.
Yeah. I was trying to put it nicely, but I was like, nah, it was terrible. But he went on a rant on social media, and he I think he did like 2 videos or something like that, talking about the university and how it's not up to par, like you said. Yeah. And the president of the college, the president of Bethune-Cookman University, basically let him go. I don't think he even signed a contract yet. So he didn't officially become the head coach, but they pretty much said no. And what happened was with that fallout, Roland Martin actually interviewed the president of Bethune-Cookman as well as Ed Reed and 3 of the football players from Bethune-Cookman. And this was and I know a lot of people said that he should have kept quiet, this, that, whatever. But what he did was he basically brought to light the issues at this particular school, right? the football players brought this up. They were playing with moldy helmets. Like their stuff,
Yeah,
they're
that's bad.
like they had to be careful where they set their stuff at so it doesn't get wet and molded and all of that stuff. Right. And not only that, but they were sharing helmets on game day.
Oh,
They were
Heck
sharing
no.
helmets on game day and things like that.
So it's not
And
like he was lying.
he wasn't lying. I think the problem was he kind of ousted them, right? And the president, I remember he was on Roland Martin. He was like saying, well, we are a Christian university. And I was like, I never heard of Bethune-Cookman as a Christian university. For one, I never heard that part.
No.
But for him to bring the light, and you had students there who was protesting because of conditions at this school, right? So it's like, they're getting this money, where the money is going. We're paying all this money for an education. Why these facilities are not upheld and everything like that. Of course, they went through some hurricanes and stuff. It's in Florida, Daytona Beach to be exact. But still, they're like, yo, what's going on here? It's a health issue. I think they had the feds come down there.
especially with moldy helmets, like mold period, because that's extremely bad for a human. So, and especially having to watch where you just set your stuff at and you're sharing helmets on game day, like especially after that COVID and everything, like all that stuff that just went on, like that doesn't make any sense.
No, not at all. So like that's just, yeah, that's crazy. Just
I didn't even know all that.
Yeah,
until you said that.
Like,
yeah, they were saying like the equipment and all that stuff would have mold on it and all of that. The field wasn't upheld properly, and it's like, some people said, you knew what you were getting yourself into when you were going to that school. Mm-hmm. But the issue is, even with smaller schools, they still maintain
it, like
maintain the property.
How you let's maintain, even in Austin P that's here.
Exactly. Like, are we getting, what's that, like a F&M stadium? Is that like a part of Austin P as well, or?
Yeah, that's where the basketball team is gonna be playing next season.
Okay, so yeah, like with that university that you was talking about with the moldy helmets, it's no excuse.
Yeah, there's absolutely no excuse for that, because that means equipment's absolutely not getting clean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they've been complaining to administration about this, and they haven't been heard until Ed Reed came on campus, and now they feel like, okay, there's some light shining on this issue, so now we could definitely voice our concerns. Mm-hmm. So, but they hired another football coach, so it's they're a Christian university. They're affiliated with United Methodist Church.
You'll probably see the new head coach say something about the equipment later on.
But even with that, though, because when you see churches, if that's the case, how come the church is not helping out with these issues? Because if you go to Baylor, Baylor is a Christian university, right? Mm-hmm. You go to, BYU, same thing. Notre Dame, same thing. They have that support. That's why they can do everything that they can do and stuff like that. They got the major donors, right? And all of that. But it seems like when it comes to the HBCUs, right, the one thing that separate the disadvantage that they don't have those big time donors, right? When you go to the big schools, they got huge boosters. They got the boosters giving millions and millions of dollars.
Yep.
To the school, right? Just to have their name on the wall somewhere. That's what they do. But these HBCUs, they don't do that. So it's kind of like, where all the successful, people, like where the multi-millionaires and all that, where they at to donate back to the school? Almost in a sense, right?
And it sounds like that's exactly what they need.
But also too is like, it's kind of like what's it? So the graduation rate is 33%, and they have an acceptance rate of 100%. So it's kind of like, if that's the case, do these schools produce multimillionaires and billionaires?
Yeah, that's another good point and a way to put it. And if they have, where are they at?
Where are they
You
at?
know,
Because
Exactly.
they talk about, we all know when it comes to HBCUs, we know homecoming is like best show in town, right?
period.
But it seemed like everybody would come back, but they don't want to donate to the school.
Nope.
You know, it's kind of like, and I'm not saying there's nobody that don't donate. There's some people that donate, but it's not enough, right?
Probably major small donations. You know, the donations get split up between all programs that's going on during the school, anything, any type of educational or anything stuff that they need, it all gets split up anyways.
Right, right. So it's kind of like, you know, you're not going to keep up with, first off, any small school, regardless if you're HBC, U or PWI, you're not going to keep up with the bigger schools in your particular state. Like Austin Peay can't compete with University of Tennessee. They're not going to be able to do it.
Nah,
not at all.
They're not going. They're not going to even compete with Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt is a private institution. So, but you can still, like, even with Austin Peay, you look at the growth that they're having right now, and you could tell they got people that are always donating back to the school. That's why, you see the changes happening on campus, right? So it's like with these small schools, are you producing like successful people? Like, I'm not saying they don't do it. I don't want people to get it twisted.
Yeah.
But
you just, looking at it from the outside end, if they are, then, where are they kind of at to try to help the school? Like you said, they're always back to take advantage of homecoming and possibly other good things that they do. But where are you at when the school actually needs you? If they did produce you and you claim you love that HBCU so much, where's your contributions at?
Facts. Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Not saying that you have to, but you'll walk around proudly claiming that you're alumni of the HBCU and all this, but at the same time you're doing nothing even to help them.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. That's something to be talked about. I definitely like to talk to a few people who attended the HBCU. My brother did at one point, and boy, that was a bad experience. They actually purged his classes.
Dang.
This was back in 2008, 2009, when they did that stuff, and they still had the same problems to this day.
Yeah,
that is crazy, man.
Like, you ain't got you ain't got to qualify people to be in these positions.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
That's crazy to me. But it's kind of funny how, the president say, we are a Christian university, which, they are affiliated with the United Methodist Church. And he was talking about a song that Ed Reed was playing in the background that was kind of like derogatory towards women. But yet homecoming, you bring like a Rick Ross to homecoming.
I know. It don't make any dang sense.
You contradicting yourself, so you lose all credibility immediately.
Yep. And before we get into the next topic, any of you going to see Lil Boosie? Well, Boosie, he ain't Lil Boosie no more. Y'all going to go see Boosie this month?
Probably not.
No, not.
I ain't really listening to nothing that he's came out with in a long time. Like, he got all the old hits, but it ain't nothing really, for me, it ain't really nothing worth going to see.
Exactly. Unless he's performing all his old mixtapes and stuff, then sure. But like, if it's just his new stuff, then I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
And I already know what's gonna pop off. I ain't taking that no chance whatsoever.
Oh yeah, exactly. So like exactly. So like either a fight or something's gonna pop off, and it's like, dude,
I'm not about to be there and catch one. So yeah.
Exactly. Well, I got kids, and like I have kids I gotta go home to,
Mm-hmm.
So. Definitely. That's exactly right. All right, so let's go and get into this next topic, man. Let's talk about LeBron James LeBron James is now the all-time leading scorer in NBA history, passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. How do y'all feel like with something like that's major, like the accomplishment like that? You know, to me, I think it's a big deal. It's a huge deal, right? It goes to show you. It goes to show you your longevity in your career and be able to continue to perform at a high level.
And especially how long that record has been around too.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't know. There's 7 players in NBA history with at least 30,000 career points.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be just, I think Jordan was like the third player to hit that mark.
Yep.
Because it was Kareem. Of course, you had Karl Malone and then Jordan. Now you got 7 players. You got Kobe, you got Dirk on there. Yeah. Who else is on? Wilt Chamberlain. I forgot about Wilt. So you got him. Mm-hmm. But how do y'all feel about LeBron James' career and everything he's accomplished?
I mean,
just on the basketball court. We're not talking about the off the court stuff.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's so like when it comes to LeBron and everything, I'm not a huge fan, but I respect his like his hustle. I respect his game. Like he is like just I just respect his game, and what he did last night was phenomenal, and I was all for it. So he's like he's not the GOAT, but like he's I respect his game. I respect his game a whole lot.
So before we go any further, I'm just going to list the top 10 career leaders in points in order. So you got, of course, LeBron is number 1. Kareem is number 2, obviously. Karl Malone is 3. Kobe Bryant is 4. Michael Jordan is 5. Dirk Nowitzki is 6. Wilt Chamberlain is 7. Shaquille O'Neal is 8. Carmelo Anthony is 9. And Moses Malone is 10. So those are your top 10 scorers in NBA history.
I am surprised that Shaquille O'Neal's on that list, but hey.
I'm not, because
nobody can stop Shaq. Like the Lakers Shaq, like the skinny Shaq is one thing, but like I said, the 2000 Shaq, that's like, if not the most dominant player to ever play the game.
Yeah, definitely the most dominant force that we've seen in NBA history.
I feel like what makes LeBron's feat so much and so important, and a lot of things that everybody overlooks, they like to talk about points and everything. LeBron is number 1 in scoring, but he's also top 4 in assists. When you talk about players like Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, they're not even top 20 in assists all time.
Different players too, by the way.
You can say it's different players all you want, but you can see how those players are only focused on one part of the game, and then they couldn't focus on.
They focus on 2 parts of the game. A lot of people don't understand, because you had the scoring, scoring and defense.
Who did Michael Jordan guard though?
Michael Jordan guarded the best 2 guards in his era.
Exactly.
And not only that, but all the 2 guards he guarded against are in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, but Jordan does have more all defensive teams than LeBron.
Yep.
And the one thing Jordan definitely has over LeBron is a Defensive Player of the Year award.
If anybody thinks that Michael Jordan ever deserved a Defensive Player of the Year award over Scottie Pippen, they are tripping.
This is before like Scottie kind of like showed up.
No, Scottie was there every single three-peat.
Late 80s
both
Jordan?
three-peats.
Yeah, the late 80s Jordan.
No.
Okay.
And there wasn't even that many good 2 guards like that, especially like how they play the game today. You can't really name any. Like LeBron literally beat one of the greatest teams ever assembled, and that is the Golden State Warriors with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson,
I give him that. I give him that. Yeah.
But now when you look at the Defensive Player of the Year awards, you can't say that he deserved that over Scottie Pippen.
Well,
you can't. And Scottie Pippen always guarded the best player on the court. Always.
Well, I gotta see what year he got that award. So But yeah, y'all go ahead and keep talking. I know you're talking
But
about LeBron.
like I said, I understand. I understand. Like everybody likes Michael because, like I said, for me, my list is definitely not that because I do have LeBron as number one. I have Kobe as number two and Michael number three. But as far as him, and then like the reason why you have to put LeBron over Kobe, like because a lot of people, there's a lot of Kobe fans. Rest in peace to Black Mamba. The one thing about that, LeBron played against Kobe. He beat Kobe. He beat, like I said, the best teams. Michael Jordan, when he came back, and even at the like when they talk about GOAT, that's the greatest of all time. When Michael Jordan came back at the age that LeBron James is at now, he didn't play nowhere near the level. You can talk about the retirement all you want, but there was no reason for him to retire. So
True
like
that.
when you talk
True
about
that.
the
True
greatest
that.
of all time,
So I'm
Michael Jordan was
a
You
nowhere
know
near
what?
the level he's at now.
That's
so
true
I'm
because right now, okay, LeBron's like, how old is he? He's like,
38, if I'm not
yeah,
if I'm not
he
tripping,
turned
38,
he turned
39.
30. He
and
38.
when Jordan was 38, wasn't he playing for the Wizards?
And he was not
Yeah,
nowhere near this level of playing that he
mediocre.
has now. People always talk about because retired. Okay, yeah, he retired. Okay, it's like he retired because he saw them Lakers and Kobe Bryant, especially when Big Shaq came out. It's like if he
Oh
was
yeah,
so good, how are you going to retire when the era changed and you had a chance to play against teams when the era changed, but you retired again. So like you got people still got to take that into account. Like I said, I take nothing away from Michael Jordan, but no, I can't. Like you can have all the steals you want, like I said, because most of the players that he was guarding on the court weren't really that good at dribbling the ball like that. Most of them were just to back you down. They're not moving around like they do now. They don't move like Kobe did. They didn't play like Dirk does, where they can just turn around and shoot like that. It was a completely different era of basketball. So it was easier for him to guard people, and they don't, but most of them weren't really like had close to his level. But it's to
So
me,
oh, go
now
ahead, my bad.
I've heard that there was this when Jordan was playing that there was like a such thing called like a Jordan rule.
yeah, I
That
remember
that was
hearing
that was
about that.
only that was only pretty much the Detroit Pistons. So basically
Okay,
the whole thing was to make it make Jordan work for every basket. So that was gonna rough him
Mm-hmm.
up. That was during the age where they could
yeah.
literally give you
Oh yeah, you get away from that back then.
the Bradshaw clothesline from hell going to
They
the
should.
basket, and you only get 2 free throws and you don't get ejected for it. You actually have to fight somebody to get
Yep.
ejected, or of course, the 2 technicals to do that. But he even though he still averaged 30 over 30 against them, it was the fact that they made him work so hard and they were physical.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that point, he wasn't even really lifting weights like that.
Yep.
So they pretty much made him get into the weight room so he could take that type of punishment. Um, Real quick, Jordan won Defensive Player of the Year and also averaged 35 in 1988.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen,
Guy was a rookie at the time, was he?
Scottie was a rookie at the time.
And he still
So
was guarded the best player on the court, though.
I don't know about that.
Scottie Pippen
I
is
don't know about
always
that
guarded the
particular
best
year.
player on the court. That's why they always show. Well, every time you read anything about Scottie, that's why they always say he was snubbed so much because he always guarded the best player on the court.
And I'm gonna
Yeah.
say this too: for when it comes to the small forwards, I know you got these dudes who got their own podcast talking sports and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
You got to give Scottie his
It's
just
just
due.
You have to, because Jordan would
You
not
got
have.
to.
He wouldn't have
Oh,
2 3-peats without Scottie.
It's the fact. It's the fact that yeah, you would definitely put LeBron James ahead of Scottie Pippen in terms of small forwards.
Yeah, of
You
course.
would put Larry Bird ahead of Scottie Pippen in terms of small forwards.
but my thing is,
But there's not. I think when it comes to the small forwards, and I love Isaiah Thomas, right?
yeah.
We all know he has a personal beef with anybody who played for Chicago.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Oh, without a doubt.
Especially
And
Jordan.
he would never. No, he actually. Well, he has a beef with Jordan, but I think his beef. He has more of a bigger beef with Scottie Pippen than he does Jordan.
Of course.
But I would say that Scottie, to me, what he did in the 90s, right? That era,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you're talking about not only one of the greatest defenders to ever play this game, but we forget that he was kind of like almost dubbed as the original point forward, right?
Yeah.
When you're talking about that offense, because
They
they
can
didn't
dribble
need
the ball up the court and everything.
because you got to remember with that offense, they didn't need a traditional point guard because that was a triangle offense.
Yep.
So, but he was the initiator of the offense, and we all know, Jordan. When you're talking about pure scores, probably the greatest pure scorer to ever play. Him and Wilt, I would say, probably to in terms of their career averages per game.
Mm-hmm.
People got to stop. And I'm really defending the players from the past, because they always say, the players today are better than what they were in the past and everything like that. Excuse me. I would say this. If they were better, right? We know they're better skilled wise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we all know it's all about production by the end of the day.
Right.
And yeah, these dudes can jump out the building. They're more athletic. Their training is way better than it is today.
Yep.
But in terms of playing the game of basketball the right way and being productive on whatever end of the court, because we all know every player who makes it to the NBA are not going to be scorers. We know that. That doesn't mean you can't. That doesn't mean you can't make an impact on the game. Like
there's
basketball.
plenty of players who made huge impacts. Like even Steve Kerr, making shots when you needed to be made when they pass you the ball during games, stuff like that.
Dennis Rodman is in a Hall of Fame. He wasn't a scorer. This man was
a dog.
He was a dog
a
defensively.
Player.
Yes.
And a rebounder. Like when people got upset, they were like saying, well, Ben Wallace, right? We all know Ben Wallace from the 2000s, Detroit Pistons.
Oh yeah.
He's in the Hall of Fame, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the first ever. I think he's like the first ever undrafted player to be selected into the Basketball Hall of Fame.
And I think he has the least amount of shot attempts or something like that too. They were saying too.
Yeah, he averaged like 5 points per game, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this man won like 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards, and people want to bring up. Everybody want to bring up this. Like, don't get me wrong, offense is pretty, but you know how many guys can't play defense in the league today?
Not a lot.
So many.
I think the funniest thing that comes to me is because, like you said, it is different eras and like exactly how they played. But the funniest thing to me is when people try to act like LeBron. They try to say he couldn't play in the '90s. I was like, are you serious? Because when he first came in the league, everybody used to hate how the only thing LeBron James could do is just run you over and dunk the ball. Remember when everybody used to say he was a kid. He wasn't even a grown man.
This man, no, listen. LeBron James was a grown ass man at 18. He's 6.
Yeah.
This man was 6'8", 245.
Yeah.
Dunking, and he would run over everybody. Running over everybody.
But see, everybody goes to that growth, right? Every player that comes in that league, they have to understand like the NBA is a whole different, it's a whole different game, especially him coming from high school straight to the league.
Yep.
Right. Even though he had that man body, but everybody still got to go through that learning process.
You have to,
right?
Because it's definitely a way different step up, even from college.
Exactly. So,
like I said, it's a different type of game,
Mm-hmm.
Because they saying that same stuff about Giannis right now. All thing he does is just run through you. But guess what? Giannis got 2 MVPs, Defensive Player of the Year award, Most Improved Player. He got a championship and a Finals MVP.
I think one thing that's kind of messing the league up right now, though, is the no calls on the travels and the carries.
Oh, they've been doing that shit since the 2000s, early 2000s.
But it's really obvious now, like for them to take 2 steps and then you can step back and shoot it up. Because even Giannis, he does it a lot, especially on his driving dunks. He takes like 4 steps.
Oh, wow. Is it 4 steps or 2 long?
No,
strides?
It's like 1, 2, and then he gathers and dunks. Like you can't take 2 steps and then gather your feet again. That's an absolute travel. And then you see how they they literally hold the ball like this when they dribble. Like they're so used to carrying the ball now, like.
Because it's like they be like bouncing above the waist too.
Yes,
so.
And like you look, especially you look at a player like Ja Morant.
Mhm.
and it
Hey, hold on, wait.
it
Don't, hey,
it's
hey,
just
don't talk
different.
about, hey, don't talk about Ja Morant yet,
Okay, I got you.
because I got something I got to say about that. So
All right,
let's
go
not.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, let's go back to LeBron real quick.
All right.
LeBron, basically, everything he's accomplished. This is kind of like we kind of saw this coming, right?
Mhm.
You know, when you've been in the league 20 years, because y'all forget, Kareem was in the league for like 20 years.
Mhm.
You know, Kobe was like in the league for 20 years, and Dirk, you know, same way. So when you have that longevity, you know, it's just a testament to, you know, your off season. That's what a lot of people don't talk about. It's your off season and stuff like that. So I wish a lot of players would take note from LeBron James and how to take care of your body and things like that, and train in off season.
Exactly.
Anthony Davis, and then you can actually
Mr. Glassman.
no, what they call them on TNT, inside the NBA TNT, street clothes. That's what they call them, street clothes.
Yeah.
But
Big
but me
club.
but me personally, but see, this is how I feel about this particular season for LeBron, right? And I know people gonna get mad at me for saying this. I don't give a damn. I'm gonna say it anyway.
Go ahead.
The way that the Lakers are treating this season, knowing they're not going anywhere. Let's call it what it is. They're
Mhm.
not going anywhere. Do you know what this reminded me of?
What is it? What?
How the Giants treated Barry Bonds when he was about to break that home run record.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what this. It's like they kept him. They kept him on the team just so he could break that record in that uniform.
I was just about to say the same thing.
And what happened right after he did that? Done with baseball.
Oh, well, that too. Mm-hmm.
Because he was. As soon as he did leave.
And so I feel, and the thing about it is, he broke this record. It's a great night, right? And I know a lot of people say, why would you stop the game so he could be? They do that every time. When you break a record like that, they always stop the game. Okay,
Period.
they did it. They did it with Steph Curry last season at Madison Square Garden when he became the all-time three-point king.
Yep.
Let's just call it what it is. They stopped it just for that moment, right?
Like you said, you have to though. I mean, that's you still got to give the players that props,
Yeah,
and recognize it. Even in the middle of the game, it doesn't matter. When you break an all-time record,
yeah,
you absolutely have to.
Exactly.
and the fact that we know the Lakers, and they're not going anywhere this season.
No.
I don't know if LeBron's coming back next season. I don't know if they say he's coming back or if he signed. Whatever. Me personally, I'm not coming back unless there's a championship.
Yeah.
Honestly,
That's
like I've heard that LeBron. Mhm.
At this age, right? You
Yeah.
gotta think at this particular age, why are you still playing if it's not for championships? Right? Like Kobe wanted to get to 6. He got 5.
Yeah.
He wanted 6. He didn't care about nothing else. He wanted 6. I know LeBron James wants to, get to that number, but what they're doing now,
it's not. It's not going to work on the Lakers.
It's not going to work on the Lakers
at all. Because I thought they were going to get Kyrie when they were talking about he was moving, and because they were talking about him possibly joining back up. But I was like, the Lakers don't make any like major moves like that. Like every player that you see them pick up is, like you said, nobody who's going to make it the team championship worthy. Because it's
not this
literally
season.
just him. Yeah, not this season. Because it's literally just him. It, like you said, street clothes. He hasn't even really played all season. It's in Westbrook. He's having a little bit of a better season, but it's still bad. Like he has a lot of turnovers.
Which the Lakers just traded.
Yep, and they just traded him.
Which to me at this point you could have
waited. And
waited.
They had D'Angelo Russell before though.
He was there. That's who he got drafted by. I think he got drafted by the Lakers.
Saying. Like, and then you pick up a player. You picking up the same players.
I just thought about that. Like
that's like taking off your clothes that is dirty. Then I'm just gonna pick them back up. Just like it doesn't make any sense. Like I don't know. But I'm like you. I wouldn't be trying to come back to the team unless I know I'm about to win an actual championship. Because if not, then there's no point in even returning.
All thing you're doing is just adding more to your legacy. It's like in terms of statistics, right? Because when you look at guys who have all these championships, right?
Mhm.
You look at first off, nobody's gonna catch Bill Russell. We can just say that's out the question.
That's definitely out the question.
Certain records
Yeah, it's
are
like
certain records are not going to be broken. Okay.
Yep.
Bill Russell's 11 championships is not going to be broken.
Nope.
John Stockton's assist record is not going to be broken. His steals record is not going to be broken.
Nope.
So it's like, this is what I honestly believe, right? I honestly believe that somebody will come in and eventually, it won't be soon. It'll be decades from now. Somebody's going to come in, break Steph Curry's record. Somebody's going to come in and break LeBron James scoring record.
Somebody's going to come in, like you said, but like you said, something like steals and how high how many assists that John Stockton has. And like you said, especially like the one record is never going to be broken is Wilt Chamberlain's. Like without a doubt, not Wilt Chamberlain, but Bill Russell. Like without a doubt, nobody's gonna be able to catch that.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. Like, and I want to say this too because I brought up John Stockton and his records. I've seen a lot of podcasts who are disrespecting John Stockton, talking about
Pete,
talking about he couldn't play in today's era. First off, let's get one thing straight. If you saw what he did with the type of defense that they were playing in his era. And the way the floor is spread out,
that's how you know they never watched him.
They never truly watched him play.
No.
And me personally, here's the thing, right? I love Chris Paul, right? He's this generation's best point guard. Yeah. I'm not putting Chris Paul over John Stockton.
No.
I'm not doing that. Because here's the thing, a lot of people have to realize. Yes, both guys are talented. Right? If you make it to the league, you're talented. One thing John Stockton, I know I'm going to get from him more so than Chris Paul, is that one, John Stockton is going to be available.
True that.
He's going to find somebody open too.
He's going to find somebody open. We all know, and we talking about today's era where the pick and roll is so much easier now because the floor is spread.
Yep.
Just think about
John Stockton.
John Stockton's going to eat you up alive, and you forget he could shoot that three.
Yep.
And he could finish around the bucket.
Like you said, you've never seen them play. Or they've never seen him play if they say that.
I hated watching John Stockton in the Jazz because I know when that team, and people's like, oh, well, Jeff Hornacek and Byron Russell and Antoine Carr and all of that. I said, first off, if you listen to other players who played against them, Gary Payton said it's harder to guard John Stockton than it is Michael Jordan. You just can't stop. You can't stop Michael Jordan. You know exactly what he's going to do. You just can't stop it. John Stockton, he'll beat you
anyway
in every way possible, right? Scoring, passing, defense. So and he ran that show in Utah. That was his show. As much as I love Karl Malone, we all know he was the face of it. We all know who ran that team. We all know that was John Stockton.
John Stockton, yeah.
I mean, like you said, the reason why Karl Malone, like I feel like he just, like you said, he was the face of it because he did most of the scoring. But it's like you said, John Stockton does everything else, and a lot of his scoring production came from John Stockton.
Exactly.
So it's like, if anybody is disrespecting John Stockton, then they have absolutely never seen that man play basketball a day in his life. Because if you ever seen John Stockton play, you would not be able to say that unless you just hating on the guy and you don't even know.
And I would say this too. One last thing. Imagine Karl Malone, John Stockton in today's era with that pick and roll they have.
And as strong as Karl Malone is, all these little skinny guys would be
dynamic.
That dude, Karl Malone. Look, I don't know if y'all remember this. Nigga, I don't know if you remember this. Pedro, you probably do. Y'all remember when Karl Malone and Dennis Rodman was in wrestling?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
I don't remember that.
Go on YouTube, and it was a pay-per-view.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was Dennis Rodman.
There was a wrestling match? Whoa, wait a minute. I thought they were
WCW.
What?
WCW it was Dennis Rodman and Hollywood Hogan versus Karl Malone and DDP.
I definitely remember that.
This was after that season. This is when they had their little rivalry on. No, this is that point, right? And I laughed because when I seen Karl Malone do the diamond cutter.
It was bad.
And here's the crazy thing: like when you see him in that uniform, it's like, yo, this dude is like swole, like probably one of the strongest men to ever play this game, no doubt.
Without a doubt.
Then when you seen him like in wrestling, you're like, dang, where the muscles go? Probably it was just the jersey, but you could still see like him big than a mug. And I started realizing too, these basketball players are actually bigger than the wrestlers.
Yeah.
When you saw, I don't know if y'all remember
too. Like the height difference is something crazy when it comes to. You don't realize how tall an NBA player is until they stand next to even football players. When they stand next to football players that you think are so big, then you see them standing next to like literally point guards, that are like taller than them. They may not be as big, but they're taller than them, or they just look so much bigger. Like you said, when it came to Karl Malone, that man was huge. Like he looked like he was a bodybuilder. Like he could have definitely won some Mr. Olympias if he put his mind to it.
Yeah, definitely could have. But it just goes to show you that great players could play in any era. Because LeBron James at his body type, he could have played with the physicality in the 80s and the 90s, right? And you got a lot of players who, like Giannis, he's another guy to me who could play in that era because he's a physical player and he's a
specimen too, especially how long that he is. Like that would be something so hard to defend. Like, and that's why it's even hard to defend now because he, like you said, he could take literally 4 steps and be down the court.
Yep. And this is my personal opinion too. I think LeBron James' game would be way better in the 90s and the 80s because he would have had to develop some type of a post game, a mid-range game, because you gotta remember you couldn't just go down the lane every single time you want to, because the floor wasn't spread. Yeah, they're gonna foul you, and that's like real grown men's strength back in those days. Like those are like
you got people forget about my boy Charles Barkley too, because he was strong as hell too. He used to be bodying everybody.
Yeah, so
that guy he body slammed Shaq when they got that fight. You watched the fight, he body slammed Shaq.
I remember
he hit that man up and dumped him.
We threw the ball at him or something, and Shaq got to.
Shaq tried to run up, he scooped Shaq up. If you look at him, tell you before everybody got it, he scooped Shaq up, and Shaq was on his back.
In effect, and hold on, let's just say this: Shaq can't fight. Ain't no way I'm gonna miss. Ain't no way.
Remember when he boxed? Remember that boxing event he had? Who did he box?
Yeah.
I forgot who it was. And
somebody.
You could tell he can't fight. He's
but
just a big dude.
He had Charles Barkley in front of his face, and you miss. How you miss with a left going across his face this way? Like you miss. Like how?
Completely. And
like
as soon as you did, he scooped you right on up.
Anyway, before we go on to the next topic, who's your Mount Rushmore in terms of NBA players? Mount Rushmore.
I'm gonna have to say Mount Rushmore. I'm gonna have to like 4 players, right? Four players on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say Jordan. Kobe. Shaq and Allen Iverson.
Wow, you ain't even got LeBron on there. Okay. Cuz who you got on there? No, you already picked your 4. You can't change it now. You picked your 4. It's on there.
Yeah.
I'd have to say for mine, it would be Kareem, it would be LeBron, Michael Jordan, and I would have to say Bill Russell.
Bill Russell. Okay.
Just because of how they all changed the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with my 4. Obviously, I got Jordan, I got Kareem, I got LeBron, and I'm going with, you know what? I'm gonna go with Bill Russell too, man.
Because
You know,
you can't, like you said, that type of feat to have that many championships, like
yeah.
you
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
something you can't overlook. No matter what era of basketball it is or anything, you can't overlook that. Because come on, man. Even when he was old, he was still hooping on them little young boys. So it doesn't even
Yeah. So I
matter.
would definitely go with those will be my four on the Mount Rushmore. And it's all opinion based. So if y'all want to argue,
Yeah.
y'all could go argue. But I would say this, right, before we get out of our last topic, I would say this. We gotta start respecting Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and his greatness.
Right. True,
Because
true.
if we could honestly say we could make a legit argument, right? And if anybody who has Kareem number one, you would never get an argument from me.
No, not at
Because
all.
when you're talking about basketball players, you gotta look at everything they've done from their youth all the way up, to the pros. And what Kareem has done in high school, at UCLA, and what he did in the NBA. I mean, his career, I mean,
And against two of the best centers to ever play the game.
yeah,
Don't, like I tell people, and especially when you see the centers he played against Bill and
Wilt.
Wilt. So it's like, and especially Wilt, because everybody knew what Wilt Chamberlain was about. Like he was just a monster. So it's you like you said, I'm like you're not getting no argument from me if you have Kareem,
Yeah.
even
And
as a number one.
I think Wilt is like the only guy that can actually block a sky hook.
Yeah,
That's how
I think he was the
athletic.
only
Yeah.
one that actually did, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. He was the only one that actually, I think it was him and some other guy. But I know
Hmm.
Wilt basically, and people forget how athletic Wilt Chamberlain was.
Oh
Especially to
yeah,
be that tall.
exactly. So like yeah, so like he was yeah.
So that's one
He
of those things that I gotta
I
say,
mean lethal, he was lethal. Yep.
definitely. So let's start respecting Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as a player. Like I said, his record stood for decades, and what he has accomplished on every level it's kind of like unmatched. So when you want to say the greatest, if you have Kareem as number one, I'm not even going to argue with you.
Nope.
I can't, because if you understand his track record, then you'll know why you can't argue with something like that. So, but definitely, those are my guys on the Mount Rushmore. Wouldn't put no AI on there. I know that. I
Because
can't.
I was looking at certain dynamics. You know what I'm saying? So
I
like,
would
I was looking at certain dynamics. Like huh.
I would have put Steph Curry ahead of AI.
Steph Curry had AI.
Yep.
I mean,
Because you gotta look at it like this.
I feel you. Yeah. Because like
Because
like he only yeah
if you're talking about dynamics, you look at how Steph Curry literally changed the game of basketball
yeah.
with his shooting, and everybody want to be like him, but they can't.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of Klay Thompson, probably the only one is on that same level as Steph Curry. Uh, I would do that, but also too because of Isaiah Thomas.
True.
You got Isaiah
Yeah,
Thomas
that
out there,
too.
so and not only that, but Isaiah Thomas really played the point, while Iverson was more of a two guard. Even though when he first came in, they listed him as a point, but when
He
you're
was
talking
definitely a
about that,
shooting guard.
he was definitely a shooting guard, especially that era where he was, he took the team to the finals and he was playing off the ball. He was really a two guard. So that's why I look at it from that standpoint. So, but hey, everybody has their type of player that they follow and everything like that. And of course, rank is going to change as time goes on. So we'll see how everything plays out. But sticking with the NBA, last topic. Kyrie Irving traded to the Mavericks.
Mavericks. Yes.
How do y'all feel
Um.
about that particular trade? They basically traded away some key players. Spencer Dinwiddie, basically the most notable player that was traded. Who else? It's a defensive player, a defensive guy. He's like a 3-and-D guy that they also traded. How do y'all feel about the trade for the Mavericks? Nikki, how you feel about that?
How do I feel about it? I actually feel like it was unexpected. Like it was really unexpected because the reason why I say that it was unexpected is because my hopes was for Kyrie to go to the Lakers. He could like be with LeBron again. But it's like at the same time, it's like if he's with Luca, like I think that like it's gonna be interesting to watch. Just seeing them two like handling business on court. Um yeah, so I mean, like it was unexpected, but at the same time, so like I could see him and Luca, like dominating the game.
All right. So before I pass it over to Droski for a second, just read off the trade itself. Brooklyn received Spencer Dinwiddie, like I said, Dorian Finney-Smith, 2027 second round pick, 2029 first round pick, unprotected, 2029 second round pick, and of course Dallas got Kyrie Irving and Markieff Morris. So, because what do you think about this trade for Dallas?
As far as when it comes for Dallas, it could either go two ways, but with the way that Luca plays, I kind of almost feel like him and Kyrie Irving might be in each other's way a little bit because especially how Luca plays, he's not quite like 'cause people like to compare him to Dirk, but I'll be like that he's definitely not.
Hell
Like
no.
because it's I don't know, it's kind of hard to put it. Like I said, it can go either way. They definitely got the better end of the trade, especially with what they had to give up to get him.
Yep.
The only thing about it is how they're gonna get it to work. And I I mean, we'll see, but I just feel like him and Luca might end up getting each other's way.
For me, I don't. It ain't gonna work. I'm just gonna say it.
Mhm.
Two guys who are ball dominant, and the fact that Luca has never played without the ball,
That's what I was
it's
just about
gonna
to say.
it's gonna make it
Yeah.
hard on Luca because you saw what happened with Jalen Brunson when he was cooking in the playoffs last year, right? It was kind of hard for Luca to even he don't. I feel like when a guy like Luca at his age, who's been playing professionally basically since he was 15, right? When you get into this league, the best league in the world, you have to know how to impact the game in other areas. Luca doesn't know how to impact the game outside of scoring, right? We all
Mhm.
know he's not a defensive player or anything like that. So it's gonna be times where he's gonna be a spectator. So even with that,
Mhm.
I don't see it working. And I don't know if Jason Kidd can make it work because if you look at Jason Kidd's system, it's basically ISO ball. That's what
And
it
that,
is.
and that's why I feel like you said I think that's why they would get in each other's way because Luca needs to have the ball most of the time in
Yeah.
order for him to work the way that he works. And Kyrie's gonna definitely take a lot of those handling and you coming up the court and doing all this, and that. And like you said, I don't think it's really gonna work, especially because Luca doesn't really play any defense or anything like that either. So it's I'm like you, I don't really think it'll go work. Like I said, it may, but I don't really see it.
I can't see it happening. And the fact that when you brought up Dirk, he's a power forward. So obviously he
Hmm.
could play off the ball. He's used to coming off the screens and getting into a spot,
And he
making
used to
that
bring
quick
the ball up
decision.
the court at times too.
Yeah,
You
at
know,
times. Until he and one thing about Dirk always played with a great point guard. He had Steve Nash, he had Jay Kidd.
Yeah.
So
and he was a great rebounder too, offensive rebounder, should I say?
yeah.
Yeah. He was. He was. He was. Yep.
So this actually, offensively, I don't see how it works, but here's the thing that people need to understand too, that you could rest on offense now, but you got to give that same type of effort defensively. So now
Yeah.
there ain't no excuse that your usage rate is so high because both of them in the top 10 in usage rate. Your usage
Period.
rates were so high. So now
Mhm.
you ain't got no choice, but like I gotta play defense because I already know for a fact that I'm not gonna get, not gonna get this ball every play, or I'm not gonna make the decision every trip down the court. So we'll just see how it works out for the Mavericks. What about the Nets? How you think they did on this trade?
Mm,
I definitely lost a lot, especially
yeah,
by giving up somebody like Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is definitely one of the top. So they definitely lost a lot.
they,
Um,
they sure did.
as long as KD can stay healthy, I feel still like they can do something because KD is like one of the most unstoppable scoring forces still in the NBA, especially when he's healthy. So I mean, we'll see. Kevin Durant's you're probably gonna definitely see him with the ball in his hands a whole lot more.
Facts. Like I was just thinking the same thing. Yeah. So like I feel like that. Like yeah. Katie's gonna handle the ball a whole lot more. And also, it's like there's another player on the team. His name's Cam Williams. And so, like, he's but they've been top scorer for the Nets recently. So, you know, he's up and coming. So
I think the one player that has to step up is Ben Simmons. Now you ain't got Kyrie there. So now you ain't got no choice but like, hey, obviously KD, he's gonna have the ball, he's gonna,
yeah,
drive the bus, but Ben Simmons gotta go back to being an all-star. Because right
exactly.
now, he's a role player. Like I've never seen a guy go from where he was to where he's at right now,
So
like
All
fast
the
too.
like
so fast.
all the way low.
But I feel like it's his own fault because he absolutely refuses to shoot. Like it's not even that you like because back in the day you used to shoot and it's not like you couldn't shoot, but now like you absolutely refuse to shoot. Like you'll literally be wide open and driving the ball and looking for somebody to pass. You're like, what are you looking for? You act like you can't jump. You used to dunk on so many people anytime you used to be out in the court and like I don't know what happened to him. Somebody had to told him something that made his whole mindset just change. Like, and then he has good defense. You know, I'm like you. It's gonna be on Ben Simmons. He's gonna have a load a lot more. He's definitely got to step up and go back to that old Ben Simmons that we remember.
Got
That,
Because
to.
like he have to, he
it's,
does.
it's it's pretty sad watching him go, like you said, from that to what he is now.
That is really sad. And, I want to see Ben Simmons getting back to being Ben Simmons, because it for me, when I seen what he did in that the playoffs when he's with the Sixers against the Hawks, right? And of course, you got the coach that really didn't back him,
Hmm.
and B didn't back him, but he never took ownership of his play. And I think that's the thing about it. I think that's the worst thing about guys who come into a league so early, that when you have been dominant on a high school level, you come into the college, you were pretty much dominant on that level. When you get into this league, you got to, take accountability for your play. And he never had to do that before. And I don't think he still has ever taken accountability for what happened back then. And you see his play right now, it's like, dude, you're 6'9", like 240, dude. This super athletic. Like,
Uh-huh.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Giannis can't shoot a lick, but guess what? He gonna keep shooting that thing. He don't care. He gonna keep attacking.
Period. He does not,
Period.
and
So,
he's gonna play his game.
So
exactly.
Because either way, him taking shots is gonna get him warmed up for whatever part of the game he's about to use. So it's I don't Ben Simmons act like he don't want to play.
I don't know what it is, but I think that's why they really, they wanted Spencer Dinwiddie back because Spencer Dinwiddie gonna give them that offense, right?
Yep.
They're gonna give them that offense, but you got to have Ben Simmons as your second best player. He got to right now because
Without a doubt now.
He got to step it up.
There's no way around it now. Like you said, there's absolutely no way around it now.
Yeah, so like, yeah, he definitely got to step it up. He
Because I know
does.
y'all remember him back in like I said, in the Philly days, like
Exactly.
man,
Like, what happened to that?
especially with you
Like,
and especially with you and man, you and Blake back in the day, man, y'all were like one of the the funnest pair to watch. So it's
Facts.
like now, I don't
Like
know,
I'm not
man.
a fan of Philadelphia, but when Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid and all them was on the same squad, like I was like, okay, all right, so some young cats.
Yeah, exactly.
I was, man.
Well, you know, I never seen somebody's downfall like that, and I hope, you know, he
So
finally get the
self-inflicted.
courage. Yeah, it was so self-inflicted, bro. This, if I'm a coach, I'll tell him, listen, if you don't shoot, you don't play. And I think that's what coach gonna have to do is like, listen, if you don't shoot, you don't play. Like I care what I know what you're doing defensively. He's still one of the top defenders in the league.
Yeah, because
But
he's a beast on defense.
offensively, we need firepower. I mean, our whole team outlook could change if you go back to the days where you were averaging like 20 a night. So he was on the verge of superstardom, but
And then it was
man,
gone. It's like somebody, like the movie Like Mike, somebody took them Jordans off his feet, and
Yeah,
all of a sudden
exactly.
he can't play no more.
Yup.
well, speaking of play,
The soul split.
speaking of play, this is gonna be the last topic before we get out of here.
All right.
We gotta talk about the Memphis Grizzlies.
Oh man.
Let me start. I gotta start this
Go
off.
ahead. Oh, let me readjust my camera.
So the Memphis Grizzlies, what have you done? What have y'all done to do all that damn talking? Nothing.
Nothing at all.
You talk. You're more known for your talking than your actual production on the court. Ever since Ja Morant said we ain't worried about nobody in the West, you know what y'all record has been? Below 500.
It's
Ja,
shit.
you got Dylan Brooks who trying to be this bad boy, but you're not. You got Ja Morant trying to be a thug, you're not.
Not.
You know, you got players out here who doing that. Yeah, y'all made the playoffs last year, but guess what? Who beat y'all? Y'all got beat. Y'all got beat by Steph Curry. Not a full 100% Klay Thompson. Even when Brooks took out Gary Payton II, y'all still didn't win. Steph Curry showed y'all what it takes. I ain't never heard no champion out there do all that talking. No.
It's almost like a reverse Cowboys.
Yeah.
They got the mentality of the Cowboys fans,
And the crazy part about it is,
it is crazy because like in the beginning of the season, man, I was like, yo, so like I was interested in seeing, Ja Morant play and everything. But the past couple of weeks, man, I don't know what's going on, man. Like you fighting with Shannon Sharp and
that I was just
Donovan.
about to say that. Like that cracked
like,
me up. What had me so funny was there was actually people on the court and fans who really thought that somebody was about to do something to Shannon Sharp. I was like, I guess y'all forgot who that man was and how he played in the NFL.
Exactly, like come on.
Like there ain't gonna be nobody that's gonna be able to hold that man back from doing whatever the hell he wants to do. Yeah, Steven Adams is a strong player, but he would have got put down.
Yeah, that's a different type of strength right there when you're talking about Shannon Sharp.
Because Shannon Sharp, I was like, y'all definitely don't know what you're talking about. You've never seen that man play in the NFL, because if you did, nothing that stupid would have ever came out your mouth.
Exactly. And the fact that you're so worried about what Shannon Sharp is saying on the court, that lets me know y'all not ready to be champs.
Yep.
Y'all don't have that mentality because
not at all.
And here's the thing. They was it one of the games where they were playing, who were they playing? Somebody, and Ja Morant got into a little scuffle, and one of his friends came on the court. They were just sitting like front row. I'm like, dude, what the hell you gonna do?
Come on, man.
You do know these are some big ass dudes, right?
And they work out every day with the best athletic trainers in the world.
These some big dudes. Just because you street don't mean like these big giants ain't gonna get on you.
Exactly.
6'4" is different in the NBA compared to everyday society, right?
Yeah.
So you got to understand, dude. Y'all not as tough as y'all think y'all are. Stop
Not
trying to
even
be.
close.
Because here's the
Portray
thing, right?
themselves like that.
Y'all trying to be like the Bad Boys Pistons, right? Y'all not.
No.
Know what these boys did? They won.
Exactly.
Hey,
Two
so they can.
championships.
So they can. You know,
And
they earn that right, even if they were.
And
yeah,
then it's stuff, right? When Dylan Brooks fought Donovan Mitchell and everything, right? Like that was unnecessary. That was uncalled for. I mean,
man, Dylan
I
Brooks
was
is a,
like, bro.
and we know he did it on purpose because he looked back
Oh
and did
yeah.
it. Like,
Yeah,
dude, one day, you know, as much money these players make today, one day, dude, you have to see dude in that tunnel. And I'm
exactly.
It's
telling you,
gonna be.
you doing all that stuff on the court because they're like,
You know
you
they're
try
gonna
to play
break
this
it
for
up. People gonna step in. It's gonna be
Mhm.
you ain't gonna have enough time and none of that. But like you said, you get caught up in that tunnel one day,
yep.
it could be a totally different story. Because to some players, it's worth it.
That's why I said some of these players can't play in the 90s and the 80s because you actually had to square up and fight
Oh
somebody.
yeah. Oh
Oh,
yeah.
You
yeah.
know, benches cleared. Now today, if you get off the bench, you get suspended. Get fined and suspended.
Can't do nothing. You can't
Back
do. You
then,
know.
if you gonna step up to somebody, it's a fight. Y'all squaring up. You got to jump in. And here's a problem. You're gonna get hit about good 3-4 times before everybody else get on that court.
Mm-hmm.
And what you gonna do then? You ain't gonna do nothing.
Probably be sleep.
My thing is for the Memphis Grizzlies, shut up, play ball, man. Get back to what y'all were doing. Because right now y'all being known more for y'all antics than y'all play on the court. And when you
and
go,
right now you're shooting yourselves in the foot every single game too.
yeah,
And
show
John
is
Morant is not that guy. Just focus on ball.
Yes.
yes,
Please.
focus
Just
on ball, bro. Just play ball, man. And just leave all that antics off the court, man. You know, I get it. Some players, you know, every player done got into it with somebody.
Yeah.
That's just it's sports. You know, in every sport it happens.
Without
exactly.
a doubt.
But it seems like the Grizzlies are always in something every single game. It seems
And
like.
even and like you said, even it's sometimes when it's the Grizzlies, but it's also even the people on the sideline watching it. Like I said, the whole thing with his dad and them and his friends coming on the court and stuff like that. Like, man, I'd be like, you ain't coming to no more of my games. You do that shit again. Like,
No,
for
exactly.
No,
like what the hell?
And
because
so
you
like,
gotta think.
yeah, so like honestly, so like I feel like with John Morant and stuff, like this dude's like worth like $200 million. The type of crowd that he's hanging out with, the type of friends that he's hanging out with and stuff, like
He
it's
needs to
like
cut off.
exactly. It's so like or something bad is going to happen to him to a point where like his career it will be over with. You know, like he needs to cut him off. And so like I understand like oh something like they the friends or whatnot they've been there so like before you had the $200 million, but some people can't go with you, you know.
Yeah,
So
that's definitely a fact.
some can't go with you.
Nah,
So
that's facts. And not only that, but you don't think these other players ain't got their people with them too?
Like, come on,
exactly.
you think you the only one out there, but they ain't the
Come on.
ones walking on the court like your people. So what's wrong with your people, man?
They sitting
You need
back.
to if you need to check your people first off. Like first and foremost, you just need to go ahead and check them, especially for them to have to stop a whole game because of some crap like that. Like that is, yeah, I would be highly upset. I'd be like, dog, like what the, yeah, we would definitely be having to have a talk.
This is why they need a actual veteran leader. Like Steven Adams, he's a veteran, but I
But he's
don't
not a
think
leader.
he's not a leader. They need one of the better players to actually step up and say, you know what, we can't do this anymore. This is what we being known for is affecting our game. We gotta get back to playing basketball.
And
Forget all
we
this other
haven't even
stuff.
been playing our
Yeah.
game ever since we started acting like this. So,
Yeah,
they got to take that time to look at themselves.
you made it to the freaking the second round of the playoffs last year. Why are you talking? Shut up.
It's not like you just won a championship. It's not even like you went to, your conference champion. None of that. You didn't do nothing.
Y'all remember when back when the Grizzlies had Mike Conley and Marc Gasol and Zebo and Tony Allen and all of them?
Yeah, I remember that. It's like, and they almost they almost got it that season.
Almost got it that season. They went to the Western Conference Finals, and even when they came back the next season, they wasn't doing all that talking. They were trying to get back, which would mess that team up. I blame front office because I forgot he was the head coach. He was black. What's his name? I forgot his name. But they fired him right after that. He took that team to the best season they ever had to the Western Conference.
That's stupid.
And you fired him. And guess what happened? Y'all ain't been back since.
Nope. Not even close.
So it's like that team, to me, they were a complete team, right? Because they had guys, they just played their game, right? They just played their game. They were one of the better teams in the league during that era. They didn't do all that talking, but you got this team right here. They dancing, they doing all this talking. You got to win first.
You got your friends, like you said, coming onto the court doing all this other stuff, and like you said, y'all ain't won nothing.
Got to win anything, first.
And you haven't even been showing it after.
That's why you had Klay Thompson talking shit after they won the championship game about the Grizzlies. Like,
who are they?
Yeah,
pretty much. That's pretty much what he wanted to say. Who are they?
Calling them bums and stuff, and Steph Curry. He basically shut them up. And then Wiggins. Y'all saw what he did, and he had Jordan Poole. So it's like, by the end of the day, you gotta just play ball, man. You gotta win games. If you win a championship, I understand that you talk your trash, right? Like Draymond. Draymond talk trash, but he a 4-time champion. He could do that.
Yeah, he a great defender at that too. He would live what he was about, like you said, 4-time champ. I got 4 rings, so I can say whatever I want to.
That's why I appreciate. This is why I like the Celtics, because see, they got to the finals last year, and you saw them come back. It wasn't no talking. They trying to get back.
Season. One of the best teams in the league,
because they know who they got to go through to get there. They know they got to go through Milwaukee again to get there. They know that.
Facts.
They on a
see
mission.
That Tatum's he's man.
Yeah,
like he has been an absolute killer the whole entire season. He's definitely wants it bad.
You see, Giannis. Giannis been on the mission.
Because I feel like I feel like the Celtics. I feel like that they tasted that finals. They see how it is. Now they're trying to like go back to the finals and stuff again. And so it's like they can actually take it on home. They can actually win it. So
yeah,
that's how I feel. That's how I feel about Jason Tatum and the Celtics right now. So,
and you see what Giannis is doing. Giannis don't talk. He play. He don't talk, man.
He just play.
And he got a championship. He got 2 MVPs, Defensive Player of the Year award, Most Improved.
Only time you see him talk, when somebody try to get up in his face, but he don't really be talk. That's why I like Zion Williamson too, because he don't really talk. Like even then when he did that, remember when he did that little windmill 360 and how everybody got mad? I was like, you see how they ran up with everybody but him.
Yeah. Hey, that's a big dude.
That's a big ass dude, man.
That's one dude. You could tell that's strength on a whole nother level right there.
Certain players, he got that football strength.
Certain players are like, you know what, man, I'm gonna let you have this one. Because all right, no, pound for pound, this ain't gonna work for me. I gotta be quicker than you.
I'm gonna be hurt.
But yeah, we're coming to the end of the episode, man. Right now, I appreciate both of you, Nikki and Droski, for coming on. Any last words from you guys?
Like I said, rest in peace. Aunt Claire, I'm gonna miss you. I'm definitely gonna miss Aunt Claire a lot. Rest in peace to all of our Black people and leaders that we've lost. And like I said, it's definitely, as always, it's been a pleasure to come on to the show and actually talk with some people who know what to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead, Nikki.
Well, my last words is first and foremost, it's up like stream my EP, Nikki, is out right now. And second word is that it's like we gotta stay positive, man. Just stay positive. So like don't let negative vibes or negative energy and stuff like ruin you and ruin, like what you have going on and stuff. Just stay positive, man, and just keep it pushing, keep grinding. So
That's what's up, man. And y'all make sure y'all follow Drinking After Dark podcast on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Y'all run the
yes.
likes up, man. Go ahead, subscribe to the channel. Also, too, man, new episodes are available every Friday on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. This was fun. We gotta do it again. And
Yes.
until next time, this your boy Darrion from Drinking After Dark podcast, and we out. Peace.
All right, cuz.
All right.
All right.